Hey, Amigas! Welcome to our first podcast.
Excited! I'm a little nervous too.
Yes.
Definitely nervous, but excited.
Yes, this is our first podcast. We are diving into switching it up a little bit from our book club, just to make it easier for those that are doing a lot of commute and find it easier to do podcast listening. So
we'll be doing a lot of still Instagram work like we have been. Mm-hmm. So please keep sharing your posts. We just wanted to try something new. So in the podcast, we're hoping that we'll actually discuss each chapter, what stood out, and what's going on.
So before we get into the whole book club, we thought it would be nice to do a little intro about each other, and that way we can talk about our background,
get to know us,
the mom life a little bit, what we do for a living. So that way you guys kind of relate. You know, we're typical 3 normal girls that just have a really nice friendship and we love each other.
Yeah, the good thing is we're all very different, so we kind of want to let you guys know a little bit about our lives. So
right.
That,
yes.
You kind of know who you're listening to, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll start off. My name is Nadie, and I live in Orange County. I'm a mom. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and her name is JD. I know the name is
special
just
name.
like the mom.
Right.
JD Nadie, and I am married, and I work at UCI Hospital. I am pursuing a nursing career. I currently work in nursing administration, and I've known these girls for a long time, back from our party days. This was my cousin,
so we've known each other forever.
A decade.
Yes, definitely. So my name's Jessica. I currently am a therapist. I work in mental health. I'm a single mom. I have a 13-year-old, so getting into those teen years. I currently am working on starting my own private practice. I volunteer a lot for different organizations, so I live a pretty crazy life.
Busy life, yeah. So my name is Veronica. I am a mom of 5 kids in a blended family. 3 of them are mine, and 2 are my stepkids, but in one household they're mine. So me and my partner live in Upland, and I'm currently just working in the recycling industry. I am the logistics manager, and just dealing with 3 teenagers. That's a handful.
And 2 toddlers. So 3 teenagers, 2 toddlers.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So our lives are pretty crazy. That's kind of... So you might notice, right, when we started our friendship, it was 10 years ago, right? All we had to worry was party, have fun. Mm-hmm. We kind of didn't know...
Single, not married, no kids. Some had kids.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there was a point where we all just took our own direction to kind of... You went to school, you got together with Albert, right? Yeah,
started having kids.
Got married, kids,
So there was a little break that we took, but still kept connected.
Yeah, and I think, so at that time we had a lot of time to be with each other, and as our friendship progressed, we really had to put in work. If you're a working woman with kids and just a really full life, to be spending time with your friends, you really need to actually make the time.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly where this whole Read Amigas book club started, because when we reconnected, we started meeting monthly, just kind of catching up, and then that's when we
trying to squeeze in our brunches of just knowing about what's going on in our lives.
And we started kind of prioritizing ourselves, right? Because you overextend yourself as a mom, you're running around, doing business and working, going to school. I mean, you kind of leave yourself out sometimes.
Yeah.
And we all decided, okay, we're going to do a monthly brunch on this day every month, no excuses.
Everybody needs to commit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so finding babysitters, figuring out what you're doing with your husband.
Yes. Parties, family parties.
Everything had to, we had to just really make the effort for our own care and our friendship to continue to grow, right? Mm-hmm. So it went from the brunches, and then...
Well, I think it evolved at our brunches where, we would talk about each other and catch up, and I think what really initiated the Read Amigas self-empowerment was you, Jessica, because you were definitely always one step ahead of us as far as empowering yourself and growing in knowledge. And you were the one that kind of influenced reading books, and so that's kind of how we started.
Yeah, we would be dealing with certain issues of life, and she'd be like, you guys, I read this book and you should do this, and you're going through this because of that, and this should help you. And it just started going where we were like, well, I need more.
Yeah.
You know, we want more, and we wanted to help each other out. So it started off with our first book of Rachel Hollis.
Yeah, Nady was really pumped.
Yeah.
Nady was really pumped, following her on Instagram. And it's beautiful. I mean, I think the therapist in me comes out.
Naturally, yeah.
What do I say? I can't therapy my friends.
Yeah,
I can't therapy family. But let me tell you what I think. Right?
Secretly diagnosis.
Right. She will.
It's a thing. I try not to do it. But I mean, you have the knowledge, so you have to share it with your girls, right? And so that's kind of where I was like, let's start slow. We'll do 4 pages. And Nady was starting to follow people online that were very motivational and empowering, like Rachel, right?
Right, yeah.
And so I think we started moving towards that direction, and just really, as we got older and we're becoming more women than we were girls, we really are about, you know, surrounding ourselves with people that are going to push us and motivate us. And that's kind of what we do for each other.
Right, yeah. We would read, and so we just kind of fell into
weekly call.
Yeah, we fell into it. We'd talk about it, like, did you read that? Or I read this, or this reminds me of you. And we were just hitting different levels, like, you know, learning, and just like, oh, we should try this, or, you know,
Like Jess calls it God moments.
Yes.
God moments.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was just so fulfilling and pleasing at the same time.
It was
to share with
exciting.
this with your friends, and
Seeing the evolve in
Exactly.
each one of us. The
No,
growth.
and you know what? I remember, so we were reading the Rachel Hollis, right? And the thing that really surprised us was in one of her chapters, she talks about how a lot of women don't have friends.
Right.
Right? And so then we're like, wait a second, like, we're doing this, and we could reach out to other women
Yeah.
and start doing it. So that's
Like
how the
if
Instagram.
we are liking it and we're getting this closeness of a friendship and able to help one another to see a different perspective for ourselves, because sometimes you don't see it within yourself, but somebody else will call you out on it and make you realize it, as hard as that sounds. But we were like, okay, why wouldn't anybody else like this? Whether, I mean, we opened this up for men as well, but easily women just, we can relate.
yeah, it connects faster,
And
I
we're like,
guess.
anybody will love this as a woman, as friends, you know, group of friends coming together to join our book, you know?
Yeah. So from there we kind of decided, like, let's do an Instagram, right?
Right.
And then it's like, well, what are we gonna call ourselves? And you know, I always greet my girls with, hey girl, hey love, you know. But when it comes to this group, since day one, it's always been Amiga.
Yes, yeah.
Amiga, what are you doing? Hey Amiga, right? Rosalie, how does she play with her Barbies?
Yes, these are my amigas.
Yeah,
little
so
one
even
too.
My
yeah,
daughter.
our kids are already like Amiga, you know. And so it was natural for us to call ourselves Amigas, because that's just what we always called each
Yep,
other.
right.
Since day one.
So it
And
just fit perfect.
it did. It fits our perfect description of our friendship. And I know that we each kind of have a little role in the mission of Read Amigas. And I know for myself, you are obviously a powerful, educated person, and that's how I see you. And Vero is a strong personality, bold, honest person. And so you start discovering yourself with reading and gaining knowledge. And that's something that I want to bring up is culture, right? We're Latinas, and that's another big thing in our Read Amigas. I'm Mexican. My parents are from Guerrero. And so I think reading has not been influenced in my life as a young child. And that was huge.
Same here.
Reading along and, you know, discovering this and empowering each other, that's huge. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to me on, you know, your parents. It was ponte a limpiar. No, it was never go and recoge un libro en vez de limpiar. It was never that. It was always no tiene nada que hacer, a limpiar, or nunca
Cuidar los
escuché
niños.
que digan, yeah, go read, mija, or what are you? It was never influenced. And I mean, now as an adult, it's not like I look back into my parents. Oh, you never influenced me to read. But I feel like with my child, yeah, every night we read a book, because I know it's so important to expand your knowledge and just learn. You know, it's like comprehension, grammar, like that's just taking it to another level. I know you have school for that, but it's good to read just for many other reasons.
Yeah, and you learn a lot. I like maybe said, like, you know, I do I went to school. I'm very driven, you know. I have a master's from USC. And even though having all that, I never read. Like, obviously.
Or back at home. How does your mom?
Yeah, my mom used to read, and we were like, me and my brother were like, no, I don't like this. It's dumb. So then I, you know, started reading, and it's really different, right? Because when you go to school, it's very like, this is what you're reading and this is why you're reading it. It's very focused, not necessarily for your own self-improvement or power. And I think reading these books has done that for us. A big thing that we really advocate is self-care, right? Part of the mission of this group or this club, this reading club, was that just self-care, because we're women that have
yourself to. I need to get my reading.
Yeah. And we're women that have been through a lot, right? A lot of things, and the reading really does help, right? And not just the reading, but like she said, like I might read something and I'm like, Vero, page 6, read it. That's what you're going through right now. Or Nady, how do you not see this? This is you. Or, you know, or vice versa. Like, oh, Jess, this made me think of you. It's politics. And
or sometimes we didn't understand something, and when Jess is all about politics, we're like, what does that mean? Like, break it down for us. And she'll give us a little lecture on it. So we would learn new things also.
Yeah. And so we just started like working on how is this going to look? What is it going to mean? What does this self-care even mean, right? I mean, not only does it force you, you know, to say, okay, I need to get my reading in, I'm falling behind and I'm part of this club, or I want to be on the same page as my amigas. It also just, you know, puts you your alone time in the book. You escape reality for a quick couple minutes, and just, you know, puts you to think like, wow, I really enjoyed that time. You know, whatever little time you had that you did and took to read, it just takes you out into the real world, out of the real world. And it's your self-care. I mean, and then on top of that, then we have our brunch.
We have our
more self-care.
Yes. So let's break down real quick the actual concept of the club, right? So what we came up with, 4 pages a day, which allows everyone to kind of be on the same page. We get to break it up however we like, right? Navy likes to read
weekly,
which annoys me because
I give myself my weekly time.
And not just that, she's like, I'm on chapter 5. I'm like, what page is that?
That's what works for me.
So we post a reading calendar with each book. The way we pick the book is we come up with different options and we kind of raffle it, and whichever book pops up, that's what we do. Like Vero said, we believe in God moments, right? So whatever we're reading at that moment is what we need to be reading. That's how we see it, right?
Yes.
So we came up with that, and then the discussion part is like, well, how are we going to discuss with all these people? And the way we do that is we try to post what sections we're on, what stood out to us, whether it's, you know, a story on our Instagram or an actual post. We do small videos, and we encourage everyone that's reading to post where they are and how they feel.
Yeah, anything that stands out to them.
Yeah.
And then we share it with the rest of the girls, right? So we're always gonna repost your posts as long as you tag us.
Yes.
And
so don't forget to tag us.
Yes, please, no one forget to tag us. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And then at the end of each book, we do a brunch. Right?
At the brunch, we just bring it all together to talk about it and enjoy the time together that we read this book, and thank everybody for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. I think we've grown. It started with just us, and I think now we have about 15 awesome, great women that are part of the book club. So thank you so much for tuning in, listening to us, following us, reading along with us. So I hope our mission really stands out to you, that we really want to promote self-care and self-empowerment, and how reading is really important in so many different levels, and it'll affect everybody differently, and we'd love to hear how it impacts you.
So we'll keep changing things up. Let us know what you like, what you want to see more of. We are talking about doing a halfway brunch or dinner, just to keep the engagement. So follow us.
Tag us.
Yes.
and spread the word.
Yeah, share
Get your
more
amigas.
amigas.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much to all our followers, and we hope you enjoy this.
Yes.
Talk to you
Bye,
guys soon.
amigas.
Bye, amigas.